Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Celina and I love to yap about books online. Can we just talk about how fast 2024 has gone through? I am amazed that we are already going into 2025, which also means that I want to do a yearly book wrap up. So every month I want to do a monthly wrap up. So therefore, I have a full list of every book I've read this year. So I think we should go through all of them together in this video. I will be talking about what books I liked, what books I didn't like, and maybe some thoughts that have changed, and also what ranking I gave each and every single book. So let's just start with January. So in January, I read 10 books, which is amazing because wow, a lot of stuff happened in my personal life in January, so let's just get through all the books. First off, we have Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is the third book in the Chestnut Springs series. I gave this book 5 stars because I love Jasper and Sloane. They're amazing together. I don't get why people don't give this couple more credit because they're so cute and they have some amazing spice scenes and their story together is amazing. So I don't get what people don't see in these. I don't get why people don't love this as much as I do because I can shout from the rooftops that I love this book so much. Great spice, great story, great chemistry between them. Amazing, and I really related to Sloane, so I feel like maybe that's also why I loved it so much. I gave this book 5 stars. Then we have Be Still My Heart by Emily McIntire and Sev R. Miller. I don't have this in physical copy. I listened to it and I didn't really like it, so I gave it 3 stars, and I'm actually thinking about changing it because I don't really remember what happened and I remember I didn't really like it. So I feel like I need to change that, and I won't talk too much about it. I just remember that I didn't like it. Then I read the full If Love series by Anna Huang. Loved this series so much and I feel like it needs to be hyped up more. Everyone is talking about the Twisted series and the Kings of, I don't remember what that series is called, but the latest series that Anna Huang has come out with, not The Striker. I feel like people talk a lot about those, but not enough about these. So let's go through each book. First off, we have If We Ever Meet Again, which is book 1 in this series. This is about Vera and Blake. It is a friends to lovers. It is heartbreaking. I cried. I really liked this book, and of course I gave it 4 stars. It needed that extra kick for me to like really hit a 5 star. I really liked it, but it needed that extra thing to make it a 5 star. Then we have If the Sun Never Sets, which is book 2, which is also about Vera and Blake because this is a second chance romance a few years in the future. Didn't really enjoy this book as much as the first one, but it is necessary if you want to continue Vera and Blake's relationship. I liked it, and I loved that you saw more of the friendships that they made studying abroad in Shanghai in the first book. I really enjoyed that. This book was a 3 star for me. I needed a little bit more than I got from this book. Then we have If Love Had a Price, which is book 3 in this series, which is about Chris and Nate. I actually thought I would hate this because I did not like Chris in book 1 and book 2, but I loved her in this one. I loved her and Nate together so much. It's insane. I loved it, and I gave it 5 stars. I believe spice-wise, it's also 2 star. I don't feel like this series is all that spicy, which is fine, but I loved Chris and Nate together, and the whole plot was amazing. And then we have If We Were Perfect, which is book 4, which is about Sammy and Olivia. This is also a second chance romance. I really enjoyed this. This was so emotional and it was amazing. Loved the side characters as well. They were amazing. Loved their story together. I gave this one 4 stars because it wasn't as great as book 3 in this series, but I loved it a lot. Then I read Hawke by Jescie Hall. I don't have that one in the physical copy, but I really enjoyed it. I loved the twists and turns, really liked the dark romance of it all, and it wasn't too much in my opinion. Also because I am trying to like get more into darker romance than I've read so far. Right now I've read a lot of dark rom-coms, so this was a good start. Never read anything from Jessie Hall, but this one I highly recommend. I gave this one a 4-star. Loved the twist and turns, loved the characters, so that's a 4-star for me. Then I read Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This was too overhyped for me. I feel like everyone hyped it up to be the best book ever, so I got disappointed and I ended up giving it 3 stars. I did finish it. I did find it somewhat intriguing, but there's just something missing, and I feel like it's the fact that I didn't feel like the trials had enough consequences for what I liked. Didn't feel like they took it that seriously, which kind of killed it for me. And everyone keeps saying that they loved Kai in this. I actually loved Kit more in this one. He was so damn sweet. Yes, Kai has the flirty banter, love that, but Kit just stole my heart in this one. So I gave this a 3-star, which is a good rating. It could just have been better for me. I feel like it was the hype that killed it for me. Then I read Night Shift by Annie Crown. I gave this a 2-star. I had it in a physical copy and I ended up selling it because I feel like someone else would enjoy it more, so they should have it. I did not like this book. I feel like it was rushed. I feel like there were minimal chemistry between the characters. Did not really like it. It was way too much spice for so little plot. The all spice, no plot thing, I found out that was not for me, which was surprising because I love spice, don't get me wrong, but this was too much. I won't be talking any more about this, but I gave it 2 stars. And the last book of January is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Love this book series. If you don't know, I have tattoos for Harry Potter. Love Harry Potter. I'm obsessed with it, and I have these special edition Slytherin house because I'm a Slytherin apparently. Love it like always. Me and my boyfriend actually just had a movie marathon for Harry Potter. Loved this book so much. The details in it, the things that we don't get from the movies we get in this are just incredible. Gave it 5 stars. Then we're moving on to February. I have a hard time saying that. February. In February, I read 6 books, so let's get to it. We started this month out with Fourth Wing and Iron Flame graphic audio editions. I don't fully remember when I read Iron Flame, but I did listen to it this year. So I'm just gonna put it here because I don't fully remember when I read it. But the graphic audio versions of these are amazing. I love them so much. You really get thrown into this world so beautifully in the graphic audio versions. Love them, and I highly recommend if you don't want to read them, please listen to them. They're amazing. Love, love, love. Highly recommend. But Fourth Wing and Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros are some of my favorite books. I am just waiting for Onyx Storm to come out the 21st of January. No one will be hearing from me the whole day. I don't care. I gave both books in graphic audio 5 stars. Then I read Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. I wanted to try something from Carissa Broadbent. I did not enjoy it at all. I gave it 2 stars. I found the plot very boring for the entire book, and then the last section, everything was rushed through. I feel like it didn't have a great ending, so I gave it 2 stars. I'm so sorry. Then I read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I gave this one a 5 star. Love this one. This one is maybe one of my favorites. I don't know why. I think they're so well written, and I love the extra details in the characters and in the plot that you get from the books that you don't get from the movies. And that's all I'm gonna say. Then I read Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is the 4th book in the Chestnut Spring series about Winter and Theo. I loved this so much. Not my favorite of the books, but I loved it so damn much. Gave this one 5 stars. It is a too chili pepper in my opinion. Really loved the plot, and I get why people love Theo. I get it. But my heart has been stolen by Winter and Vivi. They're amazing. I loved Winter so much. And you really get to see that hard shell that she has really getting cracked throughout this book. Loved it so much. Then I read To Sir Philip with Love by Julia Quinn. This is the 5th book in in the Bridgerton series. I ended up DNFing it. This book is about Eloise. I feel like because I went into it from the TV series and then the books, I got so disappointed. I feel like Eloise deserved so much better. So I DNF'd it after like 40 to 60%-ish. Did not like it. Feel like Philip was a jackass. I'm so sorry. I did not like him. Then I read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This was great as well. Gave this one 5 stars as well. Not my favorite of them. And I felt like at some points it was kind of slow, but I loved it anyway. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want this video to be a Harry Potter hype video, so that's all I'm gonna say. 5 stars. Some boring parts. Everything else was great. And the last book I read in February was Credence by Penelope Douglas. I gave this book 3 stars when I originally read it. I feel like it deserves a 3.5. This was the first book that I read that was very taboo with the step uncle, step cousin thingy, but I enjoyed it. I found it kind of boring some parts and I wanted more spice, which says a lot about me. Really enjoyed it. I don't feel like this should start your dark romance journey, but it is great. And I feel like people that love dark romance should read this. So am I going to change my stars? Probably, because I enjoyed it. Now that I think back on it, I enjoyed it more than I thought I did back when I read it. So I will probably change the stars on this. Wasn't that 7 books, not 6? Maybe. Oh well. Then in March, I read 3 books and I have all of them physically, so let's get started. First off, I read Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This is my favorite one of all the books. Loved this book so much. So much stuff is happening. You get such a sense of found family in this one. Loved the trials in it, and I just love everything about this book. Gave it 5 stars. Then I read Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This is the 5th and last book in the Chestnut Spring series. This is about Bo and Bailey. Liked this book a lot. It's not my favorite one in this series, but I really did enjoy it, and I do feel like Bo and Bailey need more credit than they're getting, but I kind of get why they don't. I love the representation of PTSD in this, and I love how amazing Bo and Bailey are together. Bailey is such a strong female character. Love it. I believe I gave it a 5 star. I do think I should give it 4 stars because it's not my favorite and I don't feel like it deserves those 5 stars. We'll see. And the last book that I read in March was Assistant to the Villain. I love this book so much. This was a 5-star read for me. The escapism that I had was incredible. Love it. Love Evie. Love the villain. Love all the side characters. Love the plot. But I did not enjoy that we ended on a cliffhanger. That was pretty damn annoying. But I love every single part of this. If you want young adult, no spice, amazing fantasy plot, which is also funny, highly recommend this. This was definitely a 5-star read for me. Then for April, I read 2 books. First off, we have Entangled by Vera Kane. I was so excited that I got to do an arc of this. This was my first arc as well, and I really did enjoy it. If you want dark romance Rapunzel, then highly recommend this. It has a lot of mafia ties to it. This was an amazing book, and it's also the first one that Vera Kane ever did, so I highly recommend that. I gave that one 4 stars. Then I read Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This is not my favorite. I enjoy it, but I do find it kind of boring. It is pretty heavy to me to read or listen to, so it did take me a while. I gave this one 4 stars. I do find it kind of boring, and I do hate Umbridge with a passion, so this is a lot for me to read. Maybe I should not give it 4 stars. Maybe it is a 3-star, but oh well. Then in May, I did not read at all, but I listened to 3 books. All 3 books were from the same series, which is the Bonds That Tie series, and I listened to the first 3, which is Broken Bonds, Savage Bonds, and Blood Bonds. Broken Bonds, I found kind of boring in the beginning, and then it took off. Love how we get introduced to all the characters and the world that Bree made, and I gave that one 3 stars. Then we get to Savage Bonds. I gave that one 4 stars because I really did enjoy it a lot. Loved that book so much. We really get more into the plot. We get why everyone is freaking out in this society. Amazing. And then we get to Blood Bonds, which is the third book. I gave that one 5 stars. The character growth on the female main character and her mated bonds are incredible in this one. Love it so much. And please, for me, please read the Bonds That Tie series by J. Bree. It is amazing and I need it on my shelves because I want to read them physically. I really do. Then in June, I listened to 3 books and I read 1 book. So let's talk about the audiobooks first, which were the rest of the Bonds That Tie series. First off, we have Tragic Bonds. I gave that one 4 stars. Really loved the character growth of Knox, especially in the last 3 books. Amazing. Loved it. Then we have Forced Bonds. That one was a bit more tricky for me with her mated bonds, but I did enjoy it a lot. So I gave that one 4 stars. Unbroken Bonds is book 6 and the last book in this series. I gave that one 3 stars. I do feel like it was an amazing ending, but I do feel like it wasn't as good as the rest of the books. And then I read Lightlark by Alex Aster, which is the first book in this series. Really enjoyed this book a lot. I did not expect that I would love it so much. This is YA, so there is very, very, very limited spice in this, but the world building in it was incredible. And from Powerless to this, I feel like the trials actually had consequences, which I enjoyed a lot. I gave this one 4 stars. Then for July, I read 3 books. I was road tripping in the US with my family, so I didn't have that much time to actually read, but when I did, I read 3 books, so I am kind of proud of myself for that. First off, we had God of Malice by Rena Kent. This is the first book in the Legacy of God series. I gave this one 5 stars. I love Killian Carson. I love him so much. I know he's a psychopath, but I don't care. I don't care. He is insane, and what he does to Glyndon is insane, but I love them so much. Loved this book. It's amazing. Highly, highly recommend. I heard that if you love Haunting Adeline, which I don't really, you would love this. And I love this, but not Haunting Adeline. So please read this. Highly, highly recommend. If you want to get into dark romance, don't start with this, but if you are into dark romance, please read it. Then I read Reckless by Lauren Roberts, which is book 2 in the Powerless series. I enjoyed this so much more than Powerless. I feel like you could finally sense that there were consequences of everything happening, and Peyton was actually in real danger this time. I didn't feel like she was in the first one. Peyton kept saying she was in danger, and they kept saying that ordinaries weren't allowed to live in this city. But in this one, I felt like there were actual consequences to everything, so I enjoyed it so much more. And in this one, I loved Kai so much. And I got why people love him in this one. I did not get it in the first. So I actually gave this one 4 stars, which is incredible because people don't really like this one but love the first one. So I'm excited for Fearless to come out in 2025 because I need to know what happens. And then I read Leather and Lark by Brynn Weaver. If you don't know me, you know I love Butcher and Blackbird. So I was so excited to read this, but it fell through for me. Did not really enjoy it. I feel like Lachlan and Lark needed more chemistry in this, so I actually gave it 3 stars, which is a good rating. I just didn't really enjoy it. If you want to read this series, please read Butcher and Blackbird, but this one was not as good to me. I'm sorry. I am excited for the 3rd book, which I can't really pronounce, but I am excited for it. I am. Don't get me wrong, I am excited. I just didn't really like this one. Then in August, I read 4 books. This was a full Anna Huang month, so I of course read the Twisted series. First off, we have Twisted Love. This is about Alex and Ava. I enjoyed it. I did feel like there were some dark romance parts in this, but not fully because of the things I've read before this. I enjoyed it. This is not a book that I keep thinking about once in a while, so I gave this one 3 stars. I did feel like the plot twist was great, but it needed something extra. Then we have Twisted Games. This is book 2 in the Twisted series. This is about Bridget and Reese. I loved this one. This one was amazing and stole my heart. This was a 5-star read for me. Love Reese, and I love Bridget, and I love everything about this book. It's amazing, and I feel like I need more bodyguard romance things because this was incredible. Love this so much. Bridget was such a mood, and she is such an amazing character. Reese, amazing book boyfriend. I love this. Then we have Twisted Hate. This is about Jules and Josh. I loved Jules in the first 2 books, and I loved Josh in the first 2 books. Did not enjoy it in this one. I think Josh was really annoying, and Jules deserves better than Josh, in my opinion. He was so annoying. It's insane. I gave this one 3 stars, which is fine. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. And then we have Twisted Lies, which is book 4 and the last book in this series. This one is about Christian and Stella. I don't remember what happens in this one. I gave it 3 stars and I don't remember why. So I'm not gonna talk more about it other than say I need to listen to this again because clearly I didn't listen thoroughly enough because I don't remember what happened at all. That's kind of annoying. I gave it 3 stars. Why? I don't know. But I need to find out. Then we have September, where I read 5 books, and this month I'm actually kind of excited to talk about. And this month we had the high highs and the low lows. So let's get to it. First off, I listened to The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I loved this book so much. I did not think I would. This is not really a sort of book that I would usually gravitate towards. I am a romance and fantasy girly, dark romance girly. This was not something that I usually gravitate towards. So the fact that I love it so much is incredible. I love the story, and I loved how it's a journalist interviewing Evelyn Hugo about her life. It was incredible. I loved it so much. This was a 4-star. It wasn't spicy, but the drama in it all, I loved it. Then we have Apprentice to the Villain, which is book 2 in the Assistant to the Villain book series by Nicole Maehrer. I loved this book so much. It gave me everything that book 1 did. I gave this 4 stars because it wasn't as great as the first one, but I did really enjoy it. Love how she connected book 1 and book 2 together, and I cannot wait to read the rest of the book series. In this, I don't feel like spice is needed at all, but a little kiss would be great, okay? A little kiss would be amazing in this. Love Evie, love Lissa, love Tristan, love Kingsley, love all the characters, okay? I do. Then we have one of the books that I never, ever should have picked up. I should have DNF'd it, and I gave in to the TikTok hype, which is Little Stranger by Lee Rivers. I listened to this because I heard it was an amazing audiobook, so I did, and I gave it 2 stars. I want to give it 1 star. I am traumatized by this book. I am traumatized, and every time I see it in the big bookstore in central Copenhagen, I'm like, oh no. I'm like re-traumatized by everything that happened. The whole thing about them having spicy time and then calling each other brother and sister, it ruined my brain. It did. It ruined my brain. I will never, ever recommend this to anyone. Very cringy plot, and the whole plot was just very confusing to me. Very confusing. First, the family was great, and then they were horrible. I didn't get it at all. No. Give it 2 stars. I'm gonna change it right now to 1 star. Then I read Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I loved this book so damn much. It was incredible. I love it so much. This is the first Emily Henry book I've ever read, and it was incredible. I loved the characters. It felt like they were real characters. I felt like they were real people, and as a person that really as a person that really wants to be an author someday, this was amazing to read and really inspired me because the characters felt so real and the plot was incredible. I loved her whole spin on on the usual tropes of the lumberjacks and like the little town that is so fantastic and everything like that. Loved it so much. I gave this one 5 stars. And the last book that I read in the month of September was The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. I wanted to start my Throne of Glass journey in 2024. I only got to this book and I'm so sorry. I enjoyed the first 2 novellas, then I did not enjoy the next few novellas, and then the last novella broke my heart. I gave this a 3 star. I'm thinking about giving it 4. When I feel incredibly emotional from a book like I did with this one, I need to give it more stars. Why introduce me to an amazing character like Sam and then he dies? Why? Why is that necessary? I feel betrayed. Okay, I feel betrayed, and I will talk about later why I did not get to Throne of Glass. I will, because if I do it now, I will just spoil it. But that's the last book, and I'm changing it to 4 stars now. Then we have October, and October was a great month for me, because in October, I read 8 books. I usually do these very curated TBRs to fit the October mood of the spooky, of the witchy, and everything like that. And in 2023, I did a highly curated, very spooky TBR with serial killers, witches, demons, dark romance, everything like that. I did not follow the same protocol as last time, but I do think it was a great month. First off, I read The Ex Hex by Erin Sterling. I gave that one 4 stars. I think it is so cute. I think it is so witchy. I think it's perfect for October. It's about a young witch who gets her heart broken and then curses her ex, which was amazing. I loved this so much. It was such a cute read. Then we have The Kiss Curse, which is book 2 in the Ex Hex series by Erin Sterling. I gave that one 3 stars. I really thought I would enjoy this because I did enjoy the Ex Hex so much, and it's in the same family of people that The Kiss Curse is about, but I did not enjoy it as much. I found it kind of boring, kind of lackluster in a way, but I did enjoy it a little. I loved the cat. Loved the cat. So I gave that one 3 stars. Then we have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I don't know how to say your name. I'm so sorry. I gave that one 3 stars. Did not really enjoy it. Found it very boring. And that's all I'm gonna say. I feel like if I read it and didn't listen to it, I would find it cuter than I did, but I did not. Then we have Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, which is the first book in the Devil's Night series. I was so disappointed in this one. I thought I would love it, but I then searched for this book and there's a lot of people that don't really like this but love the other books, so maybe I'll give it a chance. I gave this book a 1 star. I found the female main character kind of annoying and I didn't feel like any of the characters had any personality in this one, so yeah, 1 star for me. Then we have Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. I gave this one 5 stars. I love this book so much. It is incredible. Love it so much. This is about trauma nurse Allie and Josh, who is a hacker who has a secret mask talk thirst trap account that Allie loves, and he starts to stalk her. It's incredible. If you want dark romance rom-com, this and Butcher and Blackbird will get you there, okay? Love this book so much. I love how incredibly psycho Josh is, but also being a golden retriever. It's a weird combo that I love. And then I read Beach Read by Emily Henry. I gave this one a 4 star. I did really enjoy it. Again, love that she makes her characters so incredibly real. Loved the plot, but it isn't as great to me as book lovers. I'm sorry. Yeah, but I do really enjoy that they're 2 authors that write completely different genres that need to switch. How adorable is that? And the last book that I read in October was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Okay, if you know me, you know I have been bashing this book for so long, and I'm not gonna say that I love it. I'm not. I am just saying that I maybe changed my mind a little bit with this book when I look back at it. I feel like it is a necessary book, and I feel like it isn't as bad as I have been saying that it is, but it's not my favorite. So I just want to say I am sorry for bashing this book so much because I did change my mind, and I'm gonna leave it at that for now. So my camera died, so let's do November. The first book that I read in November was Mr. Heartbreaker by Piper Rain. This was amazing. Every time I read a book from Piper Rain, they've been incredible, so I don't get why people don't talk more about them because they're amazing. I really want to read their whole backlog of books. That sounds kind of amazing. I gave that one 4 stars. It's about Kylie and Rowan who have a one-night stand, turning friends with benefits, turning lovers. It's incredible, and the plot was amazing. It's also a sports romance, and I'm kind of thinking about starting my sports romance era in 2025 because of this book. Then I read Wicked Serve, which is the 4th book in the Beyond the Plays series by Grace Riley. I ended up DNFing this book. I found it really boring, and I found the characters so incredibly annoying, so I ended up DNFing it. I'm sorry. Then I read Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I love this book. This book was incredible. The New Orleans vibes, the whole Phantasma competition was incredible. I love it. It's amazing. I did not think I would be able to fall in love with a phantom, but I did in this one because Blackwell is so yummy. So yummy. Loved the competition, loved the trials had consequences, and I loved the side characters. Amazing. Everything was incredible in this one. And I gave Phantasma 5 stars. Then I read Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the Ruby Creek series, and I really did enjoy it. It's about Ford and Rosie. All of the books in this series are about single dads, and Ford is an unexpected single dad, which I won't spoil for you, but Cora, his daughter, is incredibly sweet. She's so thoughtful with her mom, and the way that Ford and Cora bond as father and daughter is so incredibly sweet. But Cora is also like that feisty new teen. Amazing. Love Rosie and Cora's friendship. Love it. Rosie was an incredible character, really resonated with me. Ford and Rosie are incredible together, and the whole key around his neck, so sweet. I gave this 4 stars because I do feel like the whole conflict of the book kind of annoyed me and kind of fell through for me, so that's why I got 4 stars and not 5. Then I read Happy Place by Emily Henry. This book is amazing. I really feel like I did great in November. I read a lot of amazing books in November. Happy Place is amazing. The romance is a big part of it, but I also feel like the friendships, the found family in it is very much in the forefront in this, which is just incredible. I laughed, I cried, and I fell in love with all the characters and their stories together. It was amazing. Gave this one 5 stars. It is definitely one of my favorites from Emily Henry. I cannot wait to read more of her books because all of the books that I've read from her this year were incredible. Then I read Off to the Races, which is the first book in the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. I did not really enjoy this one. I love Billy, the female main character. She is so spunky. She's hilarious, and I love her. But Vaughn did not have a personality at all, in my opinion, so did not really enjoy it that much. I gave this one 3 stars, which is kind of incredible to me because I love all of Elsie Silver's books. So the fact that I gave this 3 stars was kind of, what is happening? You know? Then I read God of Pain by Rena Kent. If you remember, earlier in this video, I talk about God of Malice, and I love God of Malice, and I love Creighton and Annika in God of Malice, who are the main characters in this book, but Creighton had no personality at all. He had the same type of personality as a potato. I hated it. It was not good. Annika was such a strong, feisty woman in God of Malice, and in this one, she was just naive and annoying. I did not like this at all, which was really disappointing because I love God of Malice so much. So I actually ended up giving this one 2 stars. I felt like not a lot of stuff happened, and then all of a sudden, Rena Kent just put in a lot of plot points at the same time, and it did not work at all. It really fell through. So 2 stars for me. Then I read A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. This is book 2 in the Gold Rush Ranch series. I loved this book. This book was amazing. I gave this one 5 stars. This is about Violet Eaton and Cole. I know there's a lot of people that don't like the conflict in this. I actually really enjoyed it. I think they grew a lot as characters and as a couple in this one. Loved the plot and love Violet and Cole together. 5 stars, definitely. And then I read A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. So I loved this book. The first half was kind of boring to me, but the second half was amazing, and a lot of stuff happened in the first half that made me want to continue reading it. This was incredible, and after reading this, I have so much more respect for A Court of Thorns and Roses than I've had in the past. I respect the growth of Vera and the whole start of this story as well so much more after reading this, because oh my god, I want to read all of them. Like, I am obsessed at this point. I need to know what happens next. I need to know, because the last part of this book had me screaming in my apartment. I am so sorry to my neighbors because I was screaming. I was flabbergasted. I don't know what to say, but it was incredible. Love this book so much. I gave it 5 stars, which is really weird because I gave A Court of Thorns and Roses 2. But I love this book and I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. So those were the 9 books that I read in November. This was a great reading month for me. And now we're on to December. I kind of stopped reading from the 23rd until the new year, which is kind of weird. I do this every year. I have not read a book since the 22nd, 23rd. I have read 6 books in the month of December, which I'm very excited about. So let's talk about the 6 books that I read. First off, I read Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is book 2 in the Ruby Creek series. I love this book. This book is incredible. Okay, West and Skylar together are amazing. West's kids, Emmy and Ollie, so damn adorable. Love this book so much. And I could really see myself in both Skylar and West in this one as well, with all the things that they were going through. Love this book so much. This was definitely a 5-star for me, and I cannot wait for the next book that comes out in 2025, because if this is how this book was and I gave the other one 4 stars, I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. I am obsessed. So this was definitely a 5 stars for me. Then I read A Holly Jolly Ever After by Sierra Simone and Julie Murphy. This was incredible. This has accidental pregnancy. This is so funny. It was so cute. I love this, and the couple in this, they really grow together, which is incredible to me, and I laughed so hard. The first book in this series is A Merry Little Me Cute, and it had the same vibe as this one. Love it. And I gave this one a 4 stars. Then I read The Front Runner by Elsie Silver. This is book 3 in the Gold Rush Ranch series. I did not like this one at all. I found it very boring, like very, very boring. And the parts that I should find sexy were just kind of awkward, and no, did not like it. I'm not going to say too much more about this other than I gave it 3 stars. But then I read A False Start by Elsie Silver. This is the last book in the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver, and I loved it so much. I loved it so much. Griffin and Nadia are amazing. Love them together. This was definitely a 5-star. Loved it so much. This definitely had some bigger topics in it than all the other books, but oh my god, this was amazing. Love them together. The fact that they have that age gap and Nadia is so bratty was just incredible. Made the whole book so much better, in my opinion. Then we have A Jingle Bell Mingle by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. This is the last book in the Christmas Notch series. This is about Sunny and Isaac. The representation of grief in this was incredibly sweet. I loved it so much. All the things that Isaac went through in his grief, and Sunny trying to help him, and also his friends being like, you're a jackass at the end, was amazing. This was still funny. It was still really, really spicy, but it was so sweet. I highly recommend reading this next Christmas because it is amazing. I gave this one 5 stars. And then the last book of the year that I have read is How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I've never read a book by Megan Quinn, so this I feel like was a great start. I really did enjoy it. Some of the names and the fact that the town was called Kringletown was kind of weird, but it was really adorable and I really did like the story. It was very cute to me with the whole Christmas competition, the aunt trying to reunite the family, and the whole friends to enemies to lovers in this was incredible. And I heard that there's going to be a book 2 about Cole's best friend Max, and I'm so excited. I gave this one 5 stars because I loved it so much. So those were the 66 books that I read in 2024. I'm really proud of myself. I set my reading goal to 60 books, so the fact that I read 66 was incredible. I also put my 2025 reading goal to 70 books. Hopefully I can read all of those books in 2025. I'm going to graduate nursing school in June, so hopefully I have some more time reading instead of doing schoolwork. So fingers crossed. So I hope you loved this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my face and listen to me yap about even more books. And hopefully I will see you next time. Bye!